Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence, and welcome back to TV7 Live. Yeah, what do we have happening here? We're seeing Mike Chimpmbe and Moses Mpofu appearing at the court there, and we are seeing these guys really heated up exchange there in the court as they were facing my major straight about, of course, we're talking about the various corruption jets these guys are accused of, right? So we're just gonna go to the footage where we see the court session there. So at one incident, we will be seeing one of the guys, is it Mike Chimpmbe or Moses Mpofu, right? It would be asked, we're talking about the goats here, Mr. Chimpmbe. No, man, we're not talking about the goats, right? Mr. Chimpmbe, aren't we here for Nyayembuzi? All right, we're not here about that case, right? There's another case behind the case. What would be the case behind the case? So, as the guys would adjourn the court session at the time they do that, there would be subpoenaing Wicknell Chivhayo and the ZAAN chairperson again implicated in these allegations that are coming from the two guys there, Mike Chimpmbe and Moses Mpofu. So the guys have been in remand prison almost 3 months there. So we are seeing the proceedings of the court there. In fact, from the beginnings, where we see the ZAAN chairman there will be speaking on X.com, right? And then we see the ZAAN, Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, X.com account getting hacked. So personally, I now think that these guys were faking the hacking of their ZAAN account for whatever they are doing there, as we are seeing something we have never seen before in Zimbabwe. Secondly, we are seeing this for the first time, a case is being streamed live. So we are seeing a good quality there coming from the ZTN. Those are some of the guys that are streaming this court session. Why are they streaming? Remember, the Zimbabwe government is guilty of catch and release, right? So at one point, we would say they had been accused. So the Zimbabwe government is guilty of catch and release, where they arrest people to justify them, because when they're now released, they would have passed through a legal court system, right? So I don't know if it's something that just happens, or it will be some premeditated criminal nuisance actually be happening there, like a planned thing. Guys, we want to do this and this so that our criminals can stay sovereign criminals. I don't know what would happen there. Is it a resolution? Now we're seeing these guys being shown on public. Is there any plan to release the cage, the guys here? Obviously, as we'll be seeing the videos there, the guys will be observing also how we respond. Does it matter? Does it matter? Everything matters. Anyways, let's jump to the matter there.
Issues that you're facing?
Yes.
Are you aware of the charges that you are facing? Would you know charges? What are the charges? Basically, that is what the other guy is saying there.
Do you also understand and appreciate the application that you have made to the court?
I open or take out number 1. Do you understand what you're bringing before the court? So this session is these guys bringing to the court. It's an application they would have made to the court, or is it or maybe it is just an objection to something that is happening, as it is actual proceeding of the actual main case of this case, or rather main file of this in this case. Remember, court cases would be court cases because the papers will be stored in the briefcase, right? We will put files in there, things like that. That's where we would get the word case. So he's been asked I'm starting from the almost ending, then we're gonna start from the start. At this point, he's being asked, "Are you aware?" Why would the other guy asking him, "Do you know?" Mosha yatakunze lapanda pa yatiri kutonga atikutara zimwe mosha ziriko kunze uku nekuti mosha zakawanda asi ndikanisa tenderere because munhu anogona kutadza kuzochibata. Pane nhau mbiri, nhau yembudzi nenhau inoimplicata maaudios, nhau inoimplicata Zack chairperson necorruption in connivance, or rather let's just say victimizing and looting the money of Zack.
That you are facing appear now at the Magistrates Court on the 20th of June 2024.
So the guy would insist on the case, then we come here. So here it's after some exchange in the court there, right? The pace there seems to be slow, or is it the guys are actually discussing what to do next on the spot? So here we're hearing them intending to call the witnesses, Wicknell Chivhayo and Zack chairperson, Mr. Reza, there. So they're talking of subpoena. Would they then subpoena or opt for another option, which he states here that they are having either some subpoena, or we can just look for the guys? Of course, they are the government. But if we don't look at the fact that they are the government, that statement can be disturbing also.
Michael Reza, the Zimbabwean corruption chairperson, and Mr. Wicknell Chivhayo.
All right, we hear the names there that I mentioned. Now into the deeper of the case. Starting from the start, we begin with this part right here.
Wicknell Chivhayo, why but I need to go here?
No, just commented on my audio.
He just commented on the leaked audio recording.
This session will begin. So, panya embudzi. Vachivhayo vanezva vakaita here ipapo. So why would he be asking that? What does he have to do with the God's tender case? So these guys are Mike Chimpmbe and Moses Mpofu. What they are suggesting to the court, or what they are presenting to the court, is that this case is not being handled fairly, because when it would begin, it doesn't begin as a God's case, but it's a case about leaked audios. And of course, we know what the leaked audios contained, the information it contained. So they would play that card there.
Now, the issue of pertaining to the audios, pertaining to the elections, what you are talking about, is not before the court. Is that not correct?
handizve nyaya yemaaudio yamukutaura nezvayo haindiyo nyaya iri pamberi pendodaro.
Then he says it's not before the court. There. So some of the things I will not comment. We can just watch so that we know what is happening in the current affairs. Enough respect to Gay Nyandoro, Priscilla Mangwende, Priscilla Mangwende. Enough respect there. Lillian Mark says I'm watching from Botswana. Howard Mujiga Ndarira. Howard Mujiga Ndarira or Howard Mujigandarira. Howard Mujigandarira. We want corruption-free Zimbabwe. Dina Siziba says good afternoon there.
Issues that you are facing?
Njalo uyakwazi icala wena okhangelele nalo.
Yebo,
Yes.
Do you also understand and appreciate the application that you have made to the court?
Njalo uyazwisisa isicelo lesi osifake phambili kwale nkundla.
Yebo.
Yes.
Yes, in your own words, not specifically using legal jargon, what is it that you are seeking before this honorable court?
Ngawakho amazwi ungathi wena ufuna ukuthi idaleleli nginkundla le ukusize ngendlela iphi?
Reuvane Congo says from Namibia, free Zimbabwe. Watching from Canada is P there. Asitandiwe Nyandoro ziri say Dina Sizila, Howard Mujgandarira, Lillian Mark, Priscilla Mangwende, and Gay Nyandoro there watching us live. Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live. I think we're still on live there. So basically we see these guys when this court session would be ended, they were talking about a resolution to subpoena these guys to come and appear before the court. So the way they presented it, it comes, these guys are going to be coming as witnesses to be talking about the allegations that Mike Chimpmbe and Moses Mpofu are making, that this case, when we are summoned by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, we are summoned for another case, but they made us face another case. So they are citing infringements of their rights. They are citing infringements of their rights there. Obviously, if these guys, in their case, if they would implicate the so-called untouchable people, it would actually help them. And also in that, apart from that, they did, I wouldn't call it loot Zimbabwe's money, but rather they put their hands where there are holes in the system, right? Imagine somebody who is a Zimra officer, right, who deals with giving tenders millions of our money which should be kept, which our state security depends on. The government of Zimbabwe employs somebody who can be duped by a forged document, and they, the guys who are supposed to be unbreachable, especially by fake documents. All right, I'm just saying that for interest's sake, it's a simple pointer, right? So they should just know that these are simple things. Okay, some things that don't make sense, they don't make sense, right? Of course, yeah, if the money is gonna be brought back, it would be good. But what I'm suggesting is Zimbabwe. We talked about that in the previous video. We need anti-corruption must go to all local government authorities and fire everybody who was employed just because anga remember yekusera ku political party anga votera councillor ku primary election. Every town manager, town clerk who are not qualified for the job. 2 days ago, we saw an overzealous guy working in Harare harassing a motorist, meaning these guys are not metro police. They go vachistivarikwenda kubasa every day, but what they are doing munyika zvinhu zvakaoma vari kunoitisa vanhu stress, kunokonzesa vanhu distress unotomuka munhu utopfeka uniform yekunoharasa vanhu in a civilized time like this. Of course, we are in a third world nation, right? We haven't really achieved anything except the democracy and the Independence Day, right? But the struggle continues. So they should be fired if these guys want to be doing something before this Mnangagwa term ends, right? Because we are not amending the constitution, all right? We are moving to the next guy, etc., and things will be happening, right? So that is the way it is. So remember, they say Vox Populi Nos Date. The voice of the people is not the voice of God, right? We all know who the people is. The people is a mob who can be controlled by sorry, I wanted to mention Owen Mudanube. I shouldn't speak of a person like Owen Mudanube because those guys who worked for the CIO are very scary to people who are scared of a person who is in a job, right? So basically what he was doing, he was controlling the controllable people to chant the 2030 slogan, right? So if he is dangerous for anything, is maybe to chant you on a slogan. Alright, so the guy, I don't think he's a dangerous guy, he's a safe guy, right? Obviously, if he was dangerous, he would have been condemned to prison a long time ago. And now I don't know. These guys, they've been catching and releasing. Who do they do this to? Anyways, criminals are going Mnangagwa Huchi. So do something, right? Do some action, right? We want to see you finish your term in energy, right? So you already have a legacy. Just leave after serving your 2 terms. For that, people will always remember you, right? And obviously, should there be a culture we have seen in the past where some greedy people would want to be looting from somebody just because they were in government before, like we see almost happening to other guys. Of course, I did some tasks, nobody would take anything from him, right? But just the sidelining, right? You are people you have been together through a significant passage of time, right? You guys, if you could bygone be bygone to somebody with a clear corruption case, but look at this Priscilla Mfumira, she's an old lady, etc. Okay, there were loopholes there. We let here. How about people like Jonathan Moyo, Xavier Kasukuere, Walter Mzembe, right? Those are the guys we as Zimbabwe, we are losing. Of course, in Zimbabwe, we've got brilliant ministers like the Minister of Information, right? Straight up people, academic people, etc. But they can go as far as they'll be learning, right? I'm not saying the Walter Mzembe, okay, you did good. Minister of Tourism, very excellent, right? Xavier Kasukuere, Minister of Indigenization, he did very good, right? Of course, a lot of people don't want to hear that as an PF person did very good, right? But those are some of the people who would actually deliver, right? So, just because some people would be delivering, and where it matters, the matters are being nothing. Where it matters is where it matters. Let's deal with where it matters, right? If the government of Zimbabwe can throw an entertainment show to keep the people busy. Of course, right now, Mnangagwa, you are a politician, but Mugabe was the number one. Mugabe would keep Zimbabweans busy with Nyadza Chatunga for social media, this, that, and all those sort of things, right? So Mnangagwa is more of a politics, but Mugabe was just another caliber. So I put Mnangagwa number 3. Zimbabweans are mostly so serious politics. Mugabe pa number 1. Pa number 2 to see Mugabe food because number one bashona unto the city okay. Then we put the crocodile gang on number 3 in terms of politics, right? So the man is politicked, right? So being number 3, Mnangagwa did well. Imagine, could for him at one point when Mugabe was not yet old, here you would beat Mugabe because Mugabe is old. When Mugabe is not yet old, Mugabe at one point would play Emerson Mnangagwa the choice Mujuru strategy. Vice President. Manje gender ikuitika kune gender ne global warming ngatimboisema Mujuru. Okay, so that was a really bad day. Anyways, okay, my comrades, so the issue of Grace will be coming from a long way. But whatever Grace was doing, now we realize that Grace was an honest person who was really passionate. Imagine kuti ukaunganizwa nemagaslighter achitaura zvinhu zvakafanira kuti iye minister uya aitotarisa garo remukadzi wapresident wena zvinoita here izvozvo. So you may hear such nonsense dzinotaurwa nemabutilikas nemafanatics, the type of people vanongoendawo kumarali etc, right? Number 1 because havana kudzidza, number 2 hakuna mabasa, number 3 vanhu pavakabiswa kumapurazi vazobiswa futi neoperation muramba tsvina. All that insensitive nonsense that was happening in Zimbabwe being spearheaded by whoever overzealous cruel individual. We have miserable people actually, right? So sometimes escapism, people want to be escaping. For some people, attending a ZAAN-PF rally is a source of entertainment. For some people, that chicken in they are given is maybe the only chicken in they've ever eaten in their own life. Can I do ice cream maybe on Grace, right? So those things happening, it's very disturbing. But I don't think Grace Mugabe would be stupid enough to poison Mnangagwa. I don't think that would happen. Not that type of a person. So with that spirit, let's bring back the guys, the old time Zambi guys, etc. Right? Not necessarily into government, but let them be Zimbabweans. Right? We are bringing foreign investors and all those other guys who are building factories, etc. We were seeing Christopher Mchangwa saying, man, he's a steal now. So let us build our character also, and a path for those who learn by not necessarily active but by passive conformity can know what patterns to imitate, not the barbaric slave era politics or the Vikings type of politics. No, I think a whole lot of guys, especially in ZAAN-PF, in the ruling party, vanezvigaro mapolitburo nemacentral committee haazoiti mabarbarians or at most hysteric, because they are coming from somewhere. They are people experienced and educated people. Vasiyanawo nemumwe munhu akasumukawo kubva musero. In any political party, you can rise through the ranks to any stage. We saw Jim Kunaka, he became Jim Kunaka, right? The mindset yake anga ari mugangster kuti aya Jim Kunaka anozoti isusu twakuda kupfeka uniform yemapurisa because ndine confidence dzekusvika kana pakamba ndizina ndituma ndichiti ndipe uniform yechipurisa ndipe yechisoja, right? Pamwe ndagara ndinaye pamwe ndakuitira kukaba and tichanorowa muke ndichangirai, right? Tichanorowa Nelson Chamisa wakomana waiswa mabandage and all that thing there. So it would be a part of history, right? But Jim Kunaka would actually rise through the ranks, ZAAN-PF. So of course, we may have and not have people like that. We ZAAN-PF for Shuma, kufura vem triple C. Oh, I see kwango sara chamisa chete. So previous video I did before this one also, we're talking about how we sabotage each other when we start politics. Could sometimes we avoid dialogue because maybe from this political party, we just need to take Floyd Shivambu and making Minister of Sports, but maybe Kenny Kunene, if Kenny Kunene wasn't a progressive, business-minded, forward-thinking person, he would say, no, let me be the minister and deputy, you know, things like that. But look at South Africa. They have operational opposition political parties in position. Who would have thought that Jacob Zuma's Umkhonto weSizwe would be running things there in South Africa? Personally, I would be wrong on that assumption. I didn't think the guy would make that significance. I didn't actually assume. But hey, that is what would happen there. Anyways, with that, we see these guys saying Nyaya ina Mike Chimpmbe Nazak chairperson, and we see him being quizzed over it. But anyways, they would resort to subpoena the guys to bring them over to the case. Already, it is a progress in a certain direction. It means nothing. It means they have subpoenaed them, right? At law, I'm not talking of it's statutory instruments, or at law, a witness is a co-accused, right? It is a simple word, co-accused. It is not really scary or what. It is what it is, depending on how you will be a witness in a case. Of course, there is a witness in aiding or in abating, right? You can actually aid a crime after it has happened. You are equally guilty, right? Right? You are facilitating things like that. And also in omission, you are obligated, like the Constitution of Zimbabwe, to defend Zimbabwe, right? If a person wants to destroy Zimbabwe, you should defend Zimbabwe, right? So personally, I would defend him even by killing, depending on the circumstances. I don't even have first thoughts. That is my first thought, because we are alive now. This is the time. So it's been a journey with these ZANU-PF guys. They've learned, right? And thank you to the guys in 2017. What you did, at least in our lifetime, we're going to have another president who is not Mugabe, right? Now we need to see other things, right? We don't have electricity. How many years? Water, electricity. We have no water. We have no electricity, right? So I have this zig. I'm seeing it for the first time, right? To whoever designed this money, if you're gonna be feeling offended, that would be very good. I hope you will be offended. I don't mean to offend you, okay? This is ugly. It looks like a Zupco ticket. Rekudara. Zupco richiri kufamba opo, right? Kuchine mabasa awo. Vanhu vasatovatorerwa mari yavo indigenous muna 2016 machines. We want to introduce a digital money. There is no bank charges. It's going to be free. Energy taxes, kana sugar tax, right? So just do this silently. This is not gold money, okay? This is what it is. Actually, it just says, I promise to pay Biera on demand, right? Is it an IOU or what? Is it even tender, right? It is not what it is. The real gold money is the Musiswa Tonya gold coins there. Bring those ones. But we all know that there is no gold in the reserves. So what do we do about it? Okay, let's mine new gold from today. With that, I'm gonna sign out.